All right, welcome into episode 53 of the Avetts and Beyond. My name is Todd Emanuele. Very special guest joining me this week, back on for their second time on the show. Paleface and Mo are here, guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
having
having
us
us. Thank
here.
you.
Always awesome having you on. Now, you've got some big things going on. You're hitting the road again. You had a little time off, where you missed some shows, and then uh, I know you've been dying to get back out on the road, so that's coming up. But you also have new music coming
We
out.
got new music.
That's really exciting. So let's talk a bit about that. The song, you have a single coming out on Valentine's Day. Tell me about
Yep.
it.
Well, I've been hearing for a long time, and people have been telling me, well, you got to release singles too now. You can't just make an album every 2 years.
Right.
So I thought last spring, I was just like, well, okay, I just kind of sat down and I had just four chords, to start with. And the fact that it became this romantic song, like Mo had the idea, let's release it on Valentine's Day. And I was like, at first I was like, oh, that's silly. But then I realized yeah, that seems like the perfect thing to do.
So what
You
came
know,
first, the romantic lyrics, the romantic song, or the idea to release it on Valentine's Day?
with a romantic song was
Okay.
first. And
That
then
makes sense, I guess.
it all kind of rolled out that way because I started to think what Mo was saying to me, yeah, how come you don't write any love songs? So,
I think
and I
so.
wasn't aware of it. I really wasn't aware that I wasn't, and I looked at the two albums that we had. I looked at Go Forth and Beyond the Bells, and I'm like going down the list. I'm like, he's right. There's like one, maybe like number 19 or something, on the track. There's
Isn't
no
that
love
funny?
songs.
You think about
But
it, most music is about love. Like
Yeah.
most songs are about some kind of love story or something. How
yeah,
have you evaded that for so long?
well, I got signed like way back in the day, back in the 90s, I got signed because of my love songs. I became a little wilder and things kind of went off the wheels or off the track for a while. But that was the first thing I did was just, love songs about girls. And then I got away from that. And then I was thinking, she's right. So I started getting into, you know, the dynamic of a relationship.
Yeah.
And we did, it's funny because we did a show, the one show that we've done since we have been kind of injured was the press on Bob Crawford's the
Or
fun.
On show December 30th.
So we did that show with
David Childers.
David Childers, and I was talking about my process of thinking about relationships, and some people thought I was talking about Mo because I was talking like, sometimes you're in love with someone and sometimes you're not, and like I was getting like deep into like the thoughts you have to have when you're trying to write a song
sure.
that's not just I love you and you love me.
That's
You have
part
to, it has to be a little more. You can't do that anymore.
right.
So people took it literally that I was talking about Mo, and we got in a little bit of hot water for that. At least I did.
Well, no, some people
took it literally that I was, talking about Mo when I was really just, the relationships that you have with people. It turns out, and I was reminded that's like a rich I don't know what the word is, like wellspring of material because there's so many different types of relationships that you have with friends, with lovers, with casual, whatever business. There's so many different types of situations, and I was reminded of that. So that song was just like maybe the first one, like. So that really is a song about Mo and I and our struggles and
You did write some love songs when we started hanging out. Like I was oblivious and You're the Girl.
that was like
then,
yeah. Then I got into all these goofy philosophy songs that I was writing.
Girl, I mean I could keep going, but there were some early on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They seem to be more universal, I think,
Yeah.
like than the things I think about just because I'm, trying to finish a song so I write a song about, stick the landing or whatever, just
Right.
like trying to gear myself up to do this thing because making a record by yourself is actually it's a lot.
Yeah, we
It,
talked about that the last time you were on, how you guys did that whole last album. Everything was done
yeah,
by the two of you, and that's
yeah,
a lot of work and a lot of
it
dedication.
is, and it becomes daunting,
Sure, sure.
because I know how much work it is. Now I've got another album that I'm into now,
Yeah.
um, which because of I had a neck injury and the pain was radiating into my bicep
Oh, geez.
as referred pain, so I couldn't play, so I couldn't record, I couldn't,
Oh,
so like, we
man.
were kind of like we couldn't play shows,
Yeah,
and
that was
so
going on for quite a
financially
while,
it was
wasn't it?
hurting us. And what's that?
That was going on for quite a while, wasn't it?
It's still going on, but now
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I got diagnosed properly, so I can work on specific things to help myself.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, that can be a big deal.
Well, yeah, when
Apparently,
you're a guitar player, singer, songwriter, and you can't play because of pain, that affects your life. It kind of reminds me of the whole COVID thing, but in a
very
different
tough.
way. Yeah,
Very, it's been rough for us. We, because we're not, we're not pulling down a lot when we play shows. Anyways, it's not like we play a show and we can pay the rent for 6 months. So
yeah,
it's you know, so it was tough, and it was tough because I was not doing the right exercises.
yeah. So
you know,
you're doing that now, and it's helping. Is that
it's helping.
the bottom line?
It's still a struggle, but it's helping. So I mean, we're gonna get back at it and see what happens.
So let's hit the road and see what happens, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
much, that's what we're doing. We're gonna just drive to Gainesville, and I mean, by the time this comes on, we'll be in the middle of our Florida tour. So
Right, right.
hopefully, we didn't overdo it with shows this time because it's the first time in 6 months. So
Yeah, take it easy, definitely. But that'll be nice to get back out on the road, I imagine, and see people
Oh
and
yeah.
play some
Oh
shows
yeah.
and just to get
it's
out of the
the
house.
Yes.
it's the way we live, and our
Sure.
friends are all over the place. So
Right.
we
You
have
guys still based in North Carolina, right? You're still down there, right?
yeah,
Yep,
we're still in
we're still in
Concord
the
here.
same place. Ever since COVID, we have been spending a lot of time here, and then, like,
We started to get back out.
yeah, we
and
were touring,
then we got injured. So
but then, then I got injured too.
she got injured.
Oh,
Just
man.
yeah, touring keeps you going. Once you spend a lot of time at home sitting and working on the computer, the injuries start from the posture and all
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's what they told me. Like all my injuries stemmed from the fact that I record and I'm working with a mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm driving
Yeah.
and I'm playing guitar. So my entire life, my posture was bad. And then I did funnily enough, I had a terrible sneeze
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it compressed my neck and
Oh
just
my
messed me up.
Just one
Yeah.
sneeze did that to you?
One sneeze.
Not just a sneeze.
Well, I mean, it was all the
Right.
that triggered it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
I remember
So-
my dad, when I was a kid, threw out his back the worst he ever did when he was brushing his teeth and he sneezed and he turned funny and just collapsed on the floor and he was down for 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Something funny like that can happen. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
so how many dates do you have out on the road this time on this trip? What are you doing?
We're gonna start with about 6 shows in
Okay.
Florida. We're all
Yeah.
in Florida.
And we'll see
And
what
then we come
happens
back
from
to
there.
North Carolina. We'll keep playing in the region, and it's hopefully at some point we can tour out farther, and we'll
Sure.
see little by little. We're just baby steps for now.
And
I bet you
working
the heat down there will help, right? I mean, that'll help the pain, the
Yeah,
heat
it's
in
warm.
Florida,
Yeah.
and humidity and all that will probably help the pain if you have any.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think of that. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that was part of the plan, that you were going to Florida to get a little warmer, because I know you're in Concord. It's not
It's true.
exactly freezing
Gorgeous
there,
place.
but it's still
It's
warmer
true.
in Florida.
Before COVID, we used to go to Florida every winter to
Yeah.
tour. So
Yeah.
this will be our first winter going back to Florida since then. So we
That's
can't
right.
wait. Yeah.
We got off the road from Florida and then they shut everything down.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen again on
Yeah.
this trip to Florida. Paleface, one thing I never asked you last time, I don't think I did at least. Going back, you said you started back in the 90s and all that. I heard a story that when you started out, you lived with Beck and you guys started
Well,
together in the music industry.
yeah, Beck and I we were buddies. And we yeah, we just hung out together. We were like subway rats. We just played
Yeah.
music in the subway and we went to the open mics and we played shows. And we were kind of really like brothers. And then we kind of had a falling out. It was all my fault because I was just the person I was at that time. I was not a very mature person. So, and then I kind of fell into alcohol and that made me worse. So, but yeah, we were, it's funny because later on we became friends with his mom.
Yeah.
It turned out that his mom knew Danny Fields from the Warhol factory, and Danny Fields was the guy who discovered me, and he was my manager for about 8 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so they were both in the Warhol factory, you know, with Andy Warhol and Lou Reed and all those people.
Yeah.
And they knew each other. It was kind of like a synchronicity that, you know,
Yep.
that it all kind of that we, you know, it was like this coincidence or something. I don't know, you know, that Beck and I would meet. I just at that I remember, you know, and every once in a while someone's writing a book about Beck, so they'll contact me, and so I continually are remembering these things. You know, it's weird. Like I might have forgotten all about this, but every 4 years or something, somebody's writing a book about Beck or saying they're writing a book about Beck.
Right.
And so I remember all this stuff, but I remember just being in New York, and I just went up to him on the street. I just saw this dude with a guitar, and I just walked up to him. I was like, that guy looks cool. Walked up to him, introduced myself. We just started playing, hanging out in the village. Cool. You know, so.
That's really cool. So, have you ever reconnected with him after all these years?
I haven't. I mean, it was kind of like, you know, it didn't end great, and then he got famous.
Yeah.
When you get famous, it's like then things really get weird.
It's hard to get inside, right?
Well, it's not even that. It's just the dynamic. It's like we're in the same field, but the dynamic is so different because he's like in a spot up here, and I'm like, you know, I'm like this underground cult guy, you know, playing bars and little clubs and stuff. It's a weird thing, you know, like it's hard to describe, and it's not the first time. There's been numerous occasions where it's just like it gets kind of wacky. Like fame, yeah. I mean, look what happened to, you know, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain. You take somebody who's like sort of fragile, and very talented, and then maybe they're doing some drugs that they shouldn't be doing,
right?
And then you put this light on them.
Oof. Yeah, it's a recipe for
disaster. It's hard. Right? It's not.
Not everyone can handle it. That's for sure.
It's not just like rainbows, and you know, maybe the Kardashians are great at it, but not everybody is.
No, I bet you there's stuff behind the scenes with them that they don't let you see that is the same thing you're talking about. It can't be easy all the time for them.
No, I'm sure it's not. But they seem to have figured it out somehow.
Yeah, well, they seem to
like
figure
Andy
out making money.
Andy Warhol, he figured. I was thinking about Andy Warhol. You know, like he figured the whole thing out. Like, you know, because critics would go at him and say, you know, your work isn't original at all. You just copied these soup cans, and you know, like, what do you say to that? And he said, yeah, I did. I just copied them. You know, like he figured out how to respond to that. It was like, tell him, you know,
that's great.
Agree with them. Like
his stuff's all iconic, you know, and and
then it became even more of a, you know, became more. Some people are good at it, and then other people are not. You know, so
it's crazy, and some people that are really good at something never turn into anything, and you wonder how. Like, there's so many actors, there's so many great actors probably out there that we've never seen or heard of, that just never got a chance, never had that break, that luck.
Well,
There's a lot of luck involved.
think about before recorded music.
Right.
Like
Right.
all the great artists, not everybody could read music and write music.
Right.
So all those types of artists disappeared as soon as they couldn't play anymore up until 1915 or whatever, and only a few selected ones got recorded after that until the 50s, or now everyone can record themselves.
Right.
Anyone, yeah,
It's crazy to
it
think
went
about.
viral.
Like now with YouTube and just TikTok and social media, anyone could be discovered at any time, and it's crazy. Like there's so many people that just didn't get a chance, back in the day, like you said.
Yeah, but it's also so easy to get lost in the sea of so much, happening, so much.
It's also true that there are people that are famous within certain groups or age groups,
Sure.
and they're like, but you've never heard of them.
Right.
Like they might have millions of views on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever their music's used on TikTok, wherever it is that they hit, what is like SoundCloud,
Yeah.
they have this huge fan base. Nobody else could recognize them. They could walk down the street and be completely anonymous.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that happens all the time. Tell me about the artwork behind you. I see some heart-shaped things there behind you that I know you painted.
Yeah, I had the idea. I got him the canvas and I was like, hey, why don't you paint some hearts? Because I saw the hearts at the store and I was like, you know what? We have a song coming out on Valentine's, so why not paint some hearts? And like we haven't been able to play as many shows, so the art really helps us keep going, everything.
Sure. So you just sell it on the website?
We sell them on the website, which is palefaceonline.com. And then I keep adding also different merch items. Like I have some hoodies now, and like he makes the art, and I like to play with the graphics and put them on the different, like now we have like these cell phone cases, and
nice.
I'll keep adding stuff. There's now with the on-demand marketing, you can
do anything. You can order whatever we set up. They can just order it and it gets shipped right. They just make one and they ship it to you.
Man, I even had Avetts and Beyond hoodies and T-shirts.
Yeah,
That just anyone can do it. I sold 8. That's all, just 8, and my mom was one of them.
That's the other thing. Like you can make all these awesome things, but then you have to figure out how do I market it.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
That's the way that. Yeah, it's all about the marketing now. If you can figure that out, you can get to an audience.
Yeah,
that's huge. Yep, the audience is there. You just got to figure out how to get to them, right?
How do you reach them?
I enjoy doing like little promo things and little videos and all this kind of stuff. But then like the part where it's like, okay, well, the social media for people to see it, you have to get more into like the ad campaigns and all that stuff.
Sure.
So they will show it to people, as you know.
Right. Yes, you got to pay.
MasterCard to use your song in their commercial or something.
Trying to figure that out.
Nice. That's what you need right there. So the single's coming out on the 14th. Are you going to do other singles leading up to an album type of thing, or what's the?
I have another one. I like the Valentine's Day thing rang true with me because I like the idea. If I'm going to do singles, I like the idea of them recurring. Like I have a Christmas song that's not really done. I have some of the music and some of the words. And then I have like a summer song, which all I have to really do is edit the drums. So if I edit the drums and get that one ready, maybe that'll be out this summer.
Cool.
I'm also working on the full length. So it's a lot, but I could, but I like that idea for singles of like, okay, here's a Valentine's song. Here's a summer song. Here's a Christmas song,
Wait a minute. I got an idea for you. March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, do a little Irish music.
Okay. All right.
That
might have to be from next year.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have much time.
It might be a little, unless I really, because I had to mix this single too, so that was another thing. I called in to get some help, and then, but I did my own mixing too because I wanted to learn some of that. So I think the one that we chose in the end was one of my mixes.
Oh,
But
nice.
Sent it for mastering to Johnny Greenham, who did the previous album as well.
he helps me out and does, you know, he's a professional, so he'll make it sound as good as I can, as
Right, but
good as I can give it to him. Then he can.
He's taught you a lot, right? Didn't you say that the last time?
John, he's taught me some things. I mean, he's a busy guy and he's,
Yeah.
you know, got his stuff to do. But I try to learn from everybody. You know, I learned from Jason too, who mixed the last record.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from him. And you know, but there's all these different things are arts. You know, like mixing is an art, mastering is an art. And you know, to bring up Scott Avett, you know, he said, you know, he's got his little studio at home, but he's like, you know, I don't have the time.
Right.
You know, I have to. So I feel like I'll do my little projects, but then, you know, we need to get somebody else to you know, do the Avett brothers. You know, they're not
Right. Oh yeah.
They have to focus on doing their thing. You know,
Sure.
so. But it's a lot. You know, I admire some of these people that can do it all. It's,
Yeah.
you know,
They got a lot of time, I guess, or they don't sleep very much, one or the other.
that yeah.
So you got any collabs coming up with Scott? Have you guys worked together at all? Have you even seen him
No.
lately?
No, I haven't seen him lately. I mean, he does have 3 kids, and he's got. I've been injured. I haven't been able to play, so
Oh, that's true.
there
Yeah.
hasn't been any reason to call anybody about, you know, let's get together and play. So yeah, but I'm excited about the new stuff just because I think it's like a new. It's like what Bob Dylan said. You should always be in a state of becoming as an
Right.
artist.
Yeah.
You arrive somewhere and then you just stay there. You know, it's like maybe I don't know, like certain bands have been able to do it, AC/DC or the Ramones, you know,
Right.
but it kind of, you know, like the Ramones made their great records in the 70s,
Sure.
early 80s, and I'm sure their fans are like, hey, no way, man, that record from 1992 was the best one. You know, like they got their hardcore fans, but if you want, you're always trying to grow
Sure.
as an artist because you can't, especially if you know, like I know my old fans from back in the 90s are mad at me because I don't play those songs anymore, but I'm so far away from them, but I can't do any better than those songs.
Right.
Like I can't write those songs any better than in that style. So
Well, that's another thing too. You think about it. If you haven't played them in a long time, do you remember how to play them? I always think about that kind of stuff.
vaguely, some of them, you know.
It's got to be hard. Like people want to hear the old songs, but my God, you moved on from that stuff and created new stuff. How are you supposed to remember everything?
Well, and you know, it's like I was a cult artist anyway, so
Yeah.
it's not like there's a huge demand for them, which is, as an artist, that's freeing for me. I can keep moving forward.
Sure.
And
Maybe someday you'll want to go back and play those again, though. You never know. You may get to a point where you're like, you know what? I want to revisit that stuff. You don't think so?
there's a lot of stuff. I mean, Danny, my old manager, Danny Fields, he would yell at me all the time because I would write these songs and he would hear them once and then I would
Keep writing.
forget them, you know, and play it, you know, like, so he was always telling me to get as many of them down. I did get some of them down, but because of my craziness in the 90s, I was, you know, when Seymour Stein signed me, I was homeless. I was like sleeping in the rehearsal studio.
Oh my
and
God.
it was like above a garage, and the landlord found out that I was living out there and turned off the water because we had like a little shower up there, and you know, so I was not in a good place at all at that point. But yeah, you know, I got some of them. You know, maybe there's some songs on a notebook somewhere, and
You'll discover someday and be like, I'm gonna do something with this.
It does happen.
Yeah.
It has happened that I've found songs on tape, or you know,
You
just
have
been
a
like,
box
wow,
full of tapes, don't you have this big?
I have a ton of those. Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
interesting. though. Someday maybe you'll get bored and go through and find your next album.
Yeah.
That would be
That would-
interesting.
that might be a little too much to ask for, but if I can find 1 or 2 good ones, then
Well, yeah, if you find one good one, that's good.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool. Well, let's see here. We are running out of time. See, I told you the time goes fast on these
Goes
things.
Is it?
fast, yeah.
I'm just
Um,
bad with fun.
One thing I want to say is I did get to hear the new song. Mo very nicely sent it over to me beforehand so I could play it on the show. I'm not
Cool.
sharing it with anyone, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's great.
Okay.
Great
Yeah.
song.
Thank you. I'm working on a video, so that'll be the next thing we
Nice.
release. Like
Okay.
an music video. I'm doing the editing, and so I'm excited about that as
Oh, we're gonna
well.
release the song first.
Well, by the time
Yeah.
this is out, the song is out already. Remember, we're time traveling. The
Oh,
song
that's right.
Oh, that's true. Right. Yeah.
Song's already
So
done.
the next thing I'm working on is the video.
So where the song will be available everywhere, right? That you can get music.
Yeah. The song is it's gonna be, well, it's right now you can listen to it on Spotify and Apple Music. You can just go in right now. If you get a chance, go to your favorite music platform and follow us. So that next time we release another song, you'll get notified or however they work.
And doesn't
So
that help you? That like it
Oh,
helps you
that's-
guys
You
to
gotta
get put
like.
in. You like get
What?
put into
gotta
like
like-
playlists and stuff, right?
You gotta push the like and you gotta
Yeah.
follow. That's the only. That's what it's all about now on
Yeah.
social media. Liking something. If you like something, it's like that drives traffic, and the algorithm is this thing. I've been reading this book about the algorithm. All these content creators think that they don't have a boss, but really the boss is the algorithm.
It is. It really is.
They don't, it's like, well, you went on vacation, so we're, we're docking you, like
I feel
That's
it.
so
I'm like,
true.
it's a video for 3 weeks.
it's
or
like,
whatever.
oh, you didn't log in, you didn't comment, you didn't do, and then you see like you have less, visibility.
Yeah.
So it's the same with the
Oh, yeah.
music. But what you were getting at about the playlist, yeah, I think that's the thing. If you can get your song in as many playlists as possible, that helps. So I'm just gonna put it out there as well. So if you're listening to this and you have a playlist, add us to this playlist and share it with your friends. Because
You will
that's
be
kind
you will be in my main playlist. I will do my part. I have a ton of your songs in my main playlist anyway. So
Awesome.
that probably helps a little bit. But
yeah, that's the organic way.
how does it work like monetary wise with Spotify? Now do you get paid for each song each time it gets played, or how is that?
You get like fractions of pennies.
Really?
So you have an online distributor, or if you have a label, then the label has the online distributor. We're independent, so we have an online distributor, and they collect from like Apple Music and Spotify. But it's just like
No,
it's small.
the
But
guy from the Black Keys was talking about it. I think it might have been Joe Rogan or something, but he was talking about how most of the money goes to the major labels, and they divvy it up within, like, the big artists, Rihanna and all those. They get pretty much all the
Oh, yeah.
money,
Great.
and we don't get anything really.
So-
You make money touring though, so you go on the road.
The only
Yeah.
way. That's
most artists.
Or if people buy like a painting, that helps us a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
That's huge. That
With
helps
the-
pay the rent, like you said before.
It does.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like I like doing the art, and it's like, to me, it's like just a cool, like, if someone likes the music, it's something cool that they can have as one of a kind,
Sure.
and I'm not, it's not my main focus, but it's something I enjoy doing. I'm not trying to like study it like Van Gogh or something, but
I want
I
to say
enjoy it. I
something.
enjoy it.
The way the playlists and all that help us is that the more people that play it, the more that the algorithm will then play it to other people.
Sure.
And then those other people that may have never heard of us might be like, oh, I'm going to follow them. And then more and more, then more people start showing up to your shows. And then those
Sure.
people might want to buy the record, and then you start growing. And next thing you know, maybe you're actually making some money from the royalties, because then you're getting like millions of plays and whatever, it grows.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to get noticed, it's just a little hard to make any money from a stream.
Right.
But
you guys have a
use it as a
TikTok. don't you?
promote. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Do you have a TikTok?
Yeah, we have a TikTok. It's just that, yeah, we have a TikTok. I try to remember to post there, but I kind of forget. I have to
That's-
be better at TikTok, but it's just so many platforms. I get a little like, oh my God.
TikTok, are they?
It's
I
the
heard something that they were under investigation or something,
Oh,
but,
really? Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. I missed
Yeah.
that.
or if that was just like a congressional
I think
hearing or
it's
something.
all under investigation. Nothing ever happens.
Right, they just kind of
They just, you know,
posing
it's
so they
insane.
can get their
Yeah.
whatever politician
But I
can
have
get
to
their.
take a
Right,
break from
yeah.
the social media. My hands were hurting, and then I injured my shoulder and my neck. Like this last few months were also kind of crazy for me
We
in
have it
terms of
all at once.
like I was
both of
going
us.
through a lot of all that stuff, and I just kind of had to take a break from social media, give my hands a break, my fingers, and now that I'm
Your
trying to get
brain,
back into it
your
more,
mind.
yeah, I just feel like okay, I have to start again with the algorithmic momentum, you know.
Yeah, you got to build that algorithm back up and
build it up.
Yeah.
keep
But
posting
that
on
does
social
help us
media.
a lot. That does
What's
help
that?
us a lot if you do see something that you enjoy, just like it,
Yeah.
because it's so important. I mean, these days
What a weird world we live in now, right?
Yeah,
it's very strange. It's definitely a major shift
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
world, and not to get too deep, but we don't know how it's going to go
Yeah.
because there are. I was reading this thing. This Korean, he's a German philosopher. He was born in Korea, and he was talking about what's going to happen is a lot of people that are using social media as their way of making money, they may reach a point where they burn out.
no,
Or like someone who's got a channel about making kombucha.
Yeah.
Or how many videos can you do
Right.
about kombucha before you run out,
It's
and
just so hard to keep going. Like these people that are constantly on these platforms, how
a
do you
lot of
keep
them
doing
burn
that?
out.
Right. How do
Yeah.
you keep doing it without going crazy? They're just be like, man, I gotta stop doing this. It's making my head hurt or whatever.
I think you have to just kind of do it because you like it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like if you like talking about music, just talk about music and do your thing, and don't be so strict with yourself. Just when you make a video, if you like it, put it out whenever,
Right.
and if you don't.
it's your organic way.
Yeah. And if
Yes,
people
yes.
really enjoy it, they'll find it.
That's
Keep
great.
on-
All right. So the new song, we got like a minute left here now.
Here's the painting that I made for it. If I could make you smile,
Nice.
that's the one painting.
We're selling these to our website and also at the concerts where we'll be playing. So
We're bringing those on the road too.
why not?
Why
We'll bring
not?
them
Yeah.
on the road.
All right.
And we also have our drumhead paintings that we also have at the shows.
Love those. Love
Um,
those.
But yeah.
It's great stuff. All right. So palefaceonline.com is the main
Yes,
place to go.
palefaceonline.com. Thank you.
Buy all that stuff on there. You go to all the social media sites and get that algorithm going again. We got to get that going again for you guys. Paleface and Mo, thank you so much.
Making the music. We'll keep making the music.
Yes.
I will. I've got work for years,
Yep.
really.
Yep.
I've got so many things to
It
do.
keeps me busy.
Love
really
it.
do.
Love it. Well, keep doing your thing. And I'm sure we'll see you down the road. I hope to run into you one of these days at a show
Yeah.
somewhere.
We gotta go back upstate, but
We'll get
Yeah,
back
come
up there.
upstate.
We were going up there a lot. Now, after COVID,
Yeah. Yeah.
we have to retool.
Maybe I'll come down to Florida and see you where it's warmer so we can get out of the cold up here for a little while too. That's always nice.
It is.
All
I'm
right,
telling
guys.
you, there's something about it.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
See you next time.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care, man.
You too.
Oh, the balloons.
Yeah, well,
Those
balloons. That was pretty cool.
balloons were those?